This is part 1 to the Revit Getting Started tutorial, learning about Revit and how to build a single square house, single level square house. First of all, you have the layout here. You have your ribbon with all your tools up here on top. You have your properties, which is right here for your object that you are working with. So if I click wall, then I have my different types of walls that I would be able to choose from that changes. So if I come back and go to click modify and go to door, my properties will change and now I have my door. So this is your property. So whatever you're working with, your properties will end up here. If I click this area, okay, this is my workspace. This is where I would do all my drawings. These little markers here are called your elevation markers. You have your north, your south, your west, and your east elevation markers. This is always north. North is always on top. And then down here you have your project browser. So you have your floor plan, level 1, level 2, your site plan, and then ceiling plans I don't use too much, only when I'm putting in lights. Your elevation plans, your east, north, south, and west. It goes alphabetical. That's why it is like that. Then you have your legends. I don't use that too much right for this class. Schedules and quantities, we will use that. Your sheets, we will use that for this class. And then the rest of them we don't use too much in this class. But you would go back and forth between these different elevations and views. These are all called views. So getting started, if I want to draw a single level house, you first have to select your wall tab, and then you need to, again, up here at the very top you have your shortcuts, little different shortcuts. This house is your 3D view. This would be your text. If you hover over it long enough, it'll kick out more information on it. You have your category tag, dimensioning, you have a ruler, your save option. This right here is also nice, the lines, so you can click back and forth between different line types or line weights. Alright, so I'm going to draw a wall. I'm just going to click on the generic 8-inch wall, and you can see right here it's going to draw at level 1. It's unconnected, so it's just going to draw a 20-foot wall, and it's drawing from the center line. If I want to change that, I would draw from finish face exterior. So you want to change that to finish face exterior. And then the chain is, it's just going to, I can keep drawing. If I uncheck that, I have to draw one wall at a time and I have to keep clicking. So I'm going to keep that at chain, and I'm going to draw. I can do it two different ways. I can draw like this, and I can type in the distance, okay, which I want to go 24 feet. So I'm just going to type 24, and I'm going to hit enter on the keyboard. So now I have 24 feet. I can come down here, and I go 24, enter, and it draws 24. I can go over 24, type 24, enter, and then go back up, and I would just click. Now the cool thing about this, I just did feet. If I want to do feet plus inches, I go click. I'm going to go 24 space bar and then type 5 inches, okay, and hit enter. So now I have a wall that's 24 feet 5 inches. If I hit escape twice, it takes me out of that wall command. I'm going to click that wall, and you can see it's 24 feet 5 inches. So by hitting the space bar in between the 24 and the 5, it spaces it out and gives me that. I'm going to delete that wall. Now I have my wall. It's really not in the middle of this, so if I drag up, I could also drag down too. I'm going to click and hold it down, and I can move it into the middle. You kind of want to do that right at the beginning. It's really hard to move your house once you have a lot of stuff in there. It kind of gets difficult. So once I have my walls drawn, I can zoom in, okay. I could also check down here, and these are different options down here on the bottom. detail level is coarse. I'm going to change that to fine. And right now it doesn't really do much because the wall type I have is not a wall that has a lot of features to it. But you could also down here go in and do realistic. I like hidden lines on this view. But the cool thing about this, now I can come up here to the top and I can hit this house and it shows me the 3D view. So now I can use the scroll bar on your mouse. You can scroll in and out to zoom in and out. If I push it down, I can pan. I can just move it around. It's not moving the house. And if I hold shift and push the ball down, now I can orbit and I can spin it. Okay, this 2013 also has this feature, which in 2014 has it. If I hit the top over here, it takes me to the top. If I hit the east arrow, it takes me to the right side. If I hit the corner, it takes me to the corner. So you can also use this little tool right here. This is also another orbiting tool. I like to use shift and push the ball down on the mouse, and I can just spin it all around. Now here's where I like to do consistent colors or realistic. Depending on the graphics card, you want to stay more with consistent colors. It doesn't take much to run off your graphics card. Realistic is going to take a lot more. So is ray trace. So I'm just going to do consistent colors, and you can see I have gray walls. I can go in and change the colors, and we'll do that eventually. But right now I'm going to go back to my level 1 so I can draw. You do not want to draw in 3D mode. It's hard. You want to stay out of drawing here. This is just to look and see what it looks like. So I'm going to come back over to my project browser, and I'm going to hit level 1, double click it, and it takes me back to my level 1. And this is where you want to do your drawing, is the floor plan level 1. Okay, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to change the wall because I did not grab a masonry wall. I just grabbed a generic wall. So I'm going to select all of the walls, make sure they're all highlighted, and you're going to come in basic wall. I'm going to change. I want to go to a exterior brick on CMU, or you can pick one of these. I'm just going to do the exterior brick on CMU because you can see it change. Well, let's do, that's really thick wall. Let's go into a exterior brick on metal stud. There, that's better. Now you can see if I go into the 3D mode, you're going to see the walls actually have brick now. So you can see that it's changed a little. Now if I go back to level 1, double click, and you can see my brick is on the outside, and then you have your metal stud, so you can see the layers of the wall. If I want to change that, I can go into coarse, and it just takes all that away. I can come down here to the bottom and go back to medium and fine. This is just your view and how you want to view your detail of your walls and your objects. One other thing I want to talk about too is after I drew these walls, I didn't talk about how I drew them in clockwise rotation. So if I click